Welcome to the Sabers Keep. As always, I am your host, Kitty Dad Kenobi.
Hello there.
And if you're new here, this is the content you're looking for. If you're coming back, welcome back to the channel. And if you would, take a moment and go on down and consider hitting that subscribing button. There's only about 7 to 8% of you that are actually subscribing, and that would really help me keep this kind of content coming to you. Today, we are discussing the SP Sabers, Solo Sabers, SK1, the Raxus. This is a Starkiller type. This is really amazing. It's, in my opinion, one of, if not the best version of a Starkiller SK1 Sabers that are out there. The SK1 has got that exposed crystal on it, and it is just, it's tough, it's aggressive, it's in your face.
They are real to me!
And although there are a lot of them out there, a lot of different takes on what the Starkiller lightsaber looked like, this one I think gets it right. They're very good, and there's a lot of options that come in the kit. This one was sent to me by a client who had a taco shop, gotta love the name, a taco shop master chassis installed, and he wanted both the chassis and the hilt portion of it to be weathered and accurized to look more like the game. And before I send that back to him, I want to take a moment and show it to you. It's really fantastic. So let's go ahead and get on top and take a look at it. So it's just fantastic. This is the Raxus from SP and Solo Sabers. As you can see, it's a tool of a weapon. It is designed to be just like the game. If not entirely accurate, very close to it. I took the weathering job to mean make it look like it did in the game. So this is pretty much what you'll see in the game, at least as far as I could get it there. I did take some liberties on it. But having been to the field a lot in my career, I made this look like it was used. It was in the field. It had done a lot of things. It had been dropped. It had been picked up. It had been hit by other weapons. You know, there's scoring and scarring on here. The black has been rubbed off. There is heat staining all over this thing, from the screws here on the side to the sides here of the crystal chamber. Even right here on the side here, if I light this up, it sounds great. So you've got this piece right here, which is heat stained, in order to get the look of a crystal. You know, it's a little bit unstable. It fired out, burned that hole open. There's more up here on the emitter, even the screws here on the side. And one of the things I like about it most, that's just cool. I mean, it's really, really nice. This is the Raxus. It is pretty amazing. There's a nick over here, some weathering in here. Of course, the weathering on the red wire inside, because you pretty much have to have that. Now, when it came to me, it only had a clear lens down here, so I sanded that out and darkened it, and it still got shine through. And it's very much the opposite of the bunny ear button. There's two tactile switches here. One of the things that I would like to point out is that when they designed this, most of the other versions get this wrong. They've got this tiny, thin little neck right here, and it's not. I mean, you can see it's thick. And if you look in the game, it's not a thin, tiny little thing. It's a tool built to go to war, and he did not make it delicate. Another thing that you'll see is there's that one scene where he's standing there, and the saber is kind of assembling itself, you know, right out in front of him. He's in meditation, and this back section here is really worn. It's where his hand is, and it's got a lot of wear. And the way the lighting looks, for a moment, just the briefest of moments, it looks like it's copper or bronze or something, and it's not, because in the rest of the game it doesn't appear that way. It only has the dirt and the stains from wielding it. So I like that they didn't do that here. Now, this one didn't come to me this way, but apparently it comes with brass, titanium, and steel rods here. And I only had these, and so these are the ones that I heat stained. And add a little bit more of an effect, because I figured if it was open here, I also heat stained these here. Now these do come in both brass and this stainless. and it's really good stainless because it took a while to get the heat staining just right. The things that we should talk about here are also, it's really done well, and it's kind of a tight fit. This chassis, look at this thing. This is the taco shop. I believe they called it the hot taco. It was it's very gold, gold and black. You know what I did is I again, with some thought of wear and tear, I've got some off coloring in here that I've rubbed in, a little bit of fine detailing here with acrylics, and then tried to give it some, instead of just flat gold, give it some depth. So putting this bronze in behind the gold patterns on here. But check this out here. So you got this plasma chamber down here, which I think is great. It also gives that appearance of he was always kind of broken. Galen was kind of broken, so he's got a cross between the good and the bad. Although Vader did his best to train him and did a really good job to be his weapon. Obviously, if you played the game, it didn't necessarily take. I won't spoil the game for you, but let's take a look around here. So you've got an OLED screen over here. This will give you the various fonts.
When I killed you, I will have killed.
If it is one an old friend of the famous Ahsoka Tano.
Galen,
I was taught that we always have,
Your demise.
despite everything.
you have lured the Emperor to us.
And of course, back home again. The covers on here are great. So here's a cover right here. You can take that off. So there's some LEDs on top of, little accent strip on top of the card. I did not do that. It came to me that way. I think were I to do it, I would animate these, or maybe if I got into the programming of it, I could still do that. Animate them so that they kind of flowed like they're going up into the hilt. And of course the OLED screen, your card and the data port. And then on the other side, this is the cover for the crystal chamber. This is an actual crystal. And then here, if I can get this thing open, it is tight. There we go. So you have access to your battery. There is not a lot of room in this thing, so there's just this one battery in here. You've got your kill switch here, of course. 28 millimeter Elite from Smuggler's Outpost. Puts out a whole lot of sound, as you heard. And one of the things I like is the design of the hilt has this great opening here for sound, and it's actually correct with the game itself. The game has an opening very similar to this, close enough that there's no point in messing around with it. But it is solid. I wish you could weigh this thing. It is really, really solid. The similarities between this and the Graflex are, clear and obvious. The control box is offset a little bit. The top button, or the top button and the back button, the gap in between for the emitter, the overhang, the pins, but only on the one side. It's clear that there was some callback to the Graflex. I really like that. The two tactile switches, this is the power and this is the auxiliary. And the way you'd hold it, this is a natural choke point, so it does give you that ability to hit the blaster button to get those effects in there. It is really fun to wield. As I said, this top button, or the back button actually, does unthread. There's no plunger on this. This doesn't actually have a function other than just a little bit of bleed through for lighting. But it does, this stem does go down just far enough to hold the blade to give it some fairly good retention. In fact, even with the blade plug in here, it will lock it into place. And with the blade plug in there, you'll be able to see the bleed through here a little bit better. Certainly down here and in here. The lighting coming off of this is just, it's just amazing. There's so much here. And I gotta say, I'm a huge fan. It adds that element of life to the saber that it wouldn't have otherwise. Otherwise, it's just kind of a glow stick that really just brings it to life. So that's the big question then, isn't it? If you're a collector like me, you're like my client for that matter, you're going to want to, or you're going to be at least cognizant that you're going to be spending more money to do it. I mean, to be honest, there's only a few shops out there that really make high quality, what you call a replica. There's a lot of people who like to say, oh, this is screen accurate, this is screen accurate. And sometimes, they're pretty close. I still say, like in my last video, that some of those should really be more like strongly resemble rather than screen accurate. There are very few that are truly screen accurate, and that's kind of great for people like me because we have a passion for making the sabers look as close as we can to screen accurate.
Is it possible to learn this power?
Is it worth that price? Yes and no. Taco Shop, for example, no longer exists. So that chassis, whatever's out there in the world, that's it. They're never going to be here again. People can certainly replicate them, but that one's never going to be there. You'll never have that name associated with this particular saber again. Fit and finish. I mean, they put a lot of work into building this saber. It has all these different components to it and choices with the stainless steel, the brass, the titanium rods, the brass and the stainless steel screws here on the outside. There, a red and a clear and a smoked lens on both of these buttons. This is really a glass eye, and this is supposed to be a button, but you follow me. There's these choices for how it is you want to present it. Personally, I think if you're going to do it, you need to do it the way it is in the game, and that's what we've done here. So $1,300 worth, considering that you can't get them anymore, they're not producing them anymore, Taco Shop isn't making the chassis anymore.
You're going down a path I can't follow.
And it is high quality. I mean, the fine threading on here, it's not like 4 threads and it's on. Those like 8-10 turns to put this thing on there, and no noise, quiet all the way through. The fit is tight. Really took the time to make this into the saber that you see in the game. TFU had some strong saber action in it, and this lives up to that. It truly does. The sound is great. This was designed for somebody who's going to be playing with it. And you're not going to break it. Honestly, with this neck on here, you can wheel this. I mean, I wouldn't go full contact into somebody. Rocks, for example. But with a moderate even level dueling, you'll be just fine. I like that they built it for that in mind. With this type of chassis in here, would I do it? Not necessarily. This is really, like most collection pieces, is really going to be sitting on your shelf and being admired all the time. It is a decent amount of money to put out there, and there are certainly a lot cheaper out there. And for being predominantly aluminum, and steel, and brass, it's pretty heavy, it's thick. So you're paying for quality, you're paying for quality build, you're paying for the tight fit, you are paying for the attention to detail, you're paying for that, like I said, that collaboration in order to create a hilt like this. To some extent, you are paying for a name, but there's a reason for that. With certain names comes certain guarantees of it being of a particular value. If not to the rest of the world, certainly to you. Would I pay for this? I certainly would. This is a fantastic hilt. I do have a Raxus actually, and I was fortunate enough to purchase it at a more affordable rate. But if you Google it, this is what you're going to come out with for this type of hilt. Actually, it'll go all the way up to, I think it's $1,500. Is it worth $15? It kind of depends on the person. Is it worth $13? I would say so, to a collector.
Do or do not.
Thank you for coming by the Sabers Keep today, and thank you to my client who very graciously, generously let me use his saber after I was done weathering it to be able to bring this to you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed your look at what I consider to be functional art. especially one as rare as this combination happens to be, and the one with the Taco Shop chassis in it, which you can't even get anymore. In the future, I'm going to be bringing you the Sith Stalker from Corbanth, and Elf, I believe, was the other manufacturer. This is another one of Starkiller's weapons. Fantastic. I'm really going to enjoy bringing that to you. Very excited about bringing you another Great Hilt next week. If you like this kind of content and you'd like to keep it going, consider leaving a comment, like down below, and consider subscribing. It would really help me out in bringing this information to you, continuing to do so. I thoroughly enjoy Sabers. It's a great passion of my life, and I'm glad I can share it with you. Have a wonderful day, and remember, your focus determines your reality.